Hey everybody, here I am today in Italy and with our wonderful distributors MIDIWare in Rome, and I've got quite a special surprise here because this is one of only five of the very special 25th anniversary edition of the Basstation 2. As you can see, it looks quite different from the normal Basstation 2, and this is a very special little device. One of the great things about the Basstation 2 is that very recently we've updated the firmware. The Basstation 2 has been with us for around about 5 years or so now, but we've given it a really new burst of life by giving it some brand new features. So on this 25th anniversary edition, it makes perfect sense for me to showcase some of those features. So one of the first things that you can see is when I turn on the Basstation, we have now got a custom message. Hello Italia, which is quite appropriate for today, of course. And also we've added a load of features into the synthesizer engine as well. One of the first things that we should look at perhaps is the fact that it's now a paraphonic synth. Previously the Basstation 2 was a mono synth. It could play a single note, and although we have two oscillators, every time you changed a note, the two oscillators would move in relation to each other. But with the paraphonic mode, we can actually separate those two oscillators and actually play two different notes at the same time. So let's have a listen to this sound. There we go, there's the Basstation first preset. But if I press the function button and then tap this key here, which is the D, and it's directly under the oscillator sync switch, if I tap it twice, it opens up the paraphonic mode, and I can just turn paraphonic on now. And now if I play a single note, we get the normal single note. If I play two notes, we actually have two notes that we can play at the same time. So this really opens up the possibilities of using the Basstation in your music, with your sound design and all of these things. Now that's one of the features that's been updated, but let's get to, I'm going to move up to an initialized patch and we'll try a little bit of sound design here. So I go up to this end, there we go, we've got a single oscillator. Let's bring in the second oscillator and turn on the paraphonic mode for this as well. So there we go. Paraphonic mode. But another new feature that we've added is also envelope retriggering. Now this is a really neat feature. Basically what it will do is it will take the attack and the decay stage on the envelope, and once it reaches the end of the decay stage, it will restart the envelope. And this basically gives us a kind of a designable LFO, really nice feature. And we have two separate envelopes on here. So let's explore firstly with the amp envelope. So once again, press function, and this time I'm going to double tap the key under where it says amp envelope, turn that on, and now when it reaches the end of the decay, you can see now that we actually get this kind of LFO style. Now if I bring in the attack, we can actually start to design that. Now I'll bring the filter down a bit. Let's bring up a bit of mod envelope. Okay, switch to the mod envelope. In fact, I'll latch this note on, so we've got it held. Press function and turn on the loop mode for the mod envelope as well. So now we should start to get fingers crossed. There we go. You can hear now we've got two looping envelopes. We've got the amp envelope and then the envelope for the filter as well. And of course I can then bring in the LFOs with that as well. Maybe we'll bring in LFO to the filter, maybe a little bit to the pitch as well. So straight away you can hear now we're starting to get some pretty crazy sounds. So, that's two things, paraphonic mode, envelope retriggering, but also we've added some micro-tuning tables into the Basstation as well. Let's go to the initialized patch again, basic sawtooth patch. Now normally, a scale would be perfectly in key, like so. But if I press function and tap the tune button twice, now I can access one of 8 tuning tables. So let's try this one. I'm not quite sure what this one will be like, but before we had a normal scale. So now we have a kind of arpeggio there. Let's go to a different one. Double tap the tune, choose a different table. There we go. Slightly flattened 6 there for you. So you can see we've got lots of new kind of flavours that can be brought out of the Bass Station 2. We've also given a load of new presets, and you can access these new presets through the components website. So here is my Bass Station, and now if I was logged in, I can then basically access the Novation packs, and then I can actually fire those into them. And we've got 2 new fantastic sounding sound banks that you can directly access for the Bass Station 2 as well. The last thing I'll mention is also the oscillator error. That might sound like a bit of a strange feature, but actually it's really quite a nice feature. Essentially what it will do is it will kind of randomize the pitch of the oscillators, and you can increase various different amounts of this. So if I press function, and I believe it is oscillator pitch, no, oh dear, which one is it? Let's tap. Here we go. It was, which key? No. There it is, pitch bend range. I knew it was there somewhere, but basically now I'm into the oscillator error mode, and at present, normal scaling. But if I start to increase the oscillator error, you can hear it starting to get a little bit sloppy there in the timing. If we go to a maximum, you can hear it starting to basically introduce this random pitch change to each of the notes. This can be really nice when in conjunction with the paraphonic mode as well. So we'll turn that on. Okay. We'll bring in the second oscillator. So you get some really crazy out of tune sounds. And also, if it's a bit too much, you can just dial that back and just to add a little bit of, just a touch of randomness. So the oscillator error is also a really nice feature to play around with and get some extra flavours into your music. I did mention that was the last one, but I just remembered there is one more, and actually this is the one that I should have remembered from the beginning, because this was actually the most requested feature for the Bass Station 2. Currently, in its normal state, the filter tracking is set to full. That means that as you move up the scale, up the keyboard, the filter will gradually open itself up. So if I bring this down a little bit, and let's go down to a low octave. Okay, so the filter's quite low there. If I go up a few octaves, the filter is actually opened up. And this kind of gives you more of a kind of a natural sort of sound. And it's kind of traditionally something that you would use to kind of get maybe, well, just really to give it more natural kind of sound to it. But also now, by having on the filter tracking, we can turn off the fact that the filter will open up as you go higher up the scale. So now let's go back, and this is on full now. Let's go back down a couple of octaves. Okay, let's go up now to the top octaves. You can hear the filter is completely static. It's not moving now. Now we have 7 variations in that filter tracking, so we can choose how much filter tracking we want to add to the preset as well. So that's a quick fire look and a quick remembrance for myself of which of the keys it is to trigger and turn some of these features on. But this is a really wonderful upgrade for the Bass Station 2. It's completely free. All you need to do to get hold of it is go to our Novation Components website, download the app, or you can log on online. You can have it as a standalone on your own computer, or you can log on online to manage, you can have it standalone on the computer, or you can log on online as well to access your patches and all of the stuff from wherever you are. And in the component software, you'll find the new upgrade for the Bass Station 2 to take it to 2.5. And there we are, a nice look at the Bass Station 2.5 firmware update on the 25th anniversary edition of the Bass Station 2. Thanks very much.